welcome back to another Tweaker Man video. So this is the Musical Fidelity X10-D tube buffer, which I'm going to do an upgrade on today. So what we need to do first of all is to undo the Allen keys on the back there. So let's just find the right Allen key for that, which should be hopefully this one. There we go. We'll take that out first, those. Now I've got an upgrade kit here for this, which I purchased a while ago. Now I did think of upgrading the capacitors even further than the ones that I've got given, but I think I'll just keep with these at the moment. So here we have the kit there, the internal board. This is the kit with all the bits in it, and these are the upgrade tubes in there. So what we need to do first of all is we need to start desoldering parts of this. These can pop out for a start. We'll get rid of those. There we go. That is one of the old tubes in there. I'll take this one out as well. And then we're going to fit our new ones in there when we've done the upgrades. So I've got a piece of information with this, which I'm going to go and get now, and then I can read up on what bits need changing. Now they've given me a whole kit here of everything in there. Some of these little resistors I'm not going to bother doing. Now my uncle bought this and he hardly ever used it, and to be honest with you, a lot of these electrolytics in there, they've not been used much. They're probably, I'm going to change them anyway, but some of the other bits I'm probably going to leave. These are going to be changed, these caps there. So let's get. So this is a diagram of what we're going to be changing. So we've got 815 microfarad electrolytic caps there. We've got some film caps, more electrolytics. These are the two tubes that need to be changed, a couple of resistors. Right, so what we need to start doing first is to get the soldering iron heated up and start removing some of these parts. So we've now got our soldering iron heated up, and what we're going to do first, we're going to start removing some of these electrolytic caps off the back of by just soldering off these caps quick. They're really easy to do, they just pop straight out. There you go, that's one. Okay, so because we've got this, I've already taken a photograph of it, but because we've got this diagram, we know where the negative and the positive is going to be. So all I'm going to do is take all these caps out first, and then I can have to be a bit patient sometimes. Some come out easier than others. For some reason that one's a bit tight in there. Oh, there you go, that's out. Right, so what I'll do is I'll crack on removing all those, and I'll be back in a second. So I've removed all of those caps out of there. So all I want to do is just to clean up a bit with some desoldering braid, just so I can get my new caps in there easier. That's nice. So what I'll do is I'll go around taking all these off, and then I'll be back in a second. So I've cleaned the back of the circuit board up there. So now we should just be able to push all our capacitors through. So this is the negative side, and that is the positive side. So we know by this diagram anyway, but so it literally goes that way round, okay, with the stripe to my right as I'm looking at it. So what we'll do, we'll pop this into here and that through there like so. There we go. We'll get those two in there first. Now this isn't a bad little job to do this. It's quite easy. The circuit board's nice. It's good quality. It's not a cheap one where you can melt the circuit board away on the back. So if we get it, you want something to rest it on there to keep it down. We'll pull that up. Right. We'll start soldering these on now. One. I'll do this nice and gently. 2, 3, 4. There we go. So they're on really nice and seated down well. There we go, nice and seated down well. So what we've got to do now is just to snip off the remaining lead wires. So I'm just going to use a pair of pinchers here. Okay. So that's the first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack on and solder the rest of those in. We've got a few little diodes here. Okay, so because this hasn't been used much, I'm not sure whether to replace those. I might as well, seeing as I've got those, I'll do that. And what I'll do is I'll do that now because we want to. So how many we got here? We've got 6. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5 diodes there. And then we've got 1 at the back, which is 6. So I shall do those as well. So I've soldered in that diode now. Okay, so they're a bit more tricky, these diodes. So I'm just going to take one out at a time to solder those in. They're all the same values, but you've got to be careful not to damage the pad there. There's a pad there, it's quite awkward. So I'm going to do those off of camera. So I've got that like so now. So we need to take our diode here and just bend it over, because that is now fitting in between here and here. And the beauty is on the back of the circuit board there, it indicates that that's the right way to fit it on. Right, okay, so let's just solder that in place now. That's it. So what I'll do is I'll snip this off again with these. And then what I'll do is I'll go around and change all these diodes quick. Then I'll be back once I've done that. So I'm coming to the end of the diodes now. They're all the diodes now soldered in. Last one. There we go, nice and easy. Just trim them off again now. That's it. That's all those soldered in now, all these diodes. So I'm just going to crack on with the rest of those capacitors. So now you can see that I've soldered in all the new electrolytic capacitors on the front there. So now the next couple we need to do, we're going to just do these two next, which are these film caps. Okay, so we're going to be removing those and using these JB caps. These are the JFX premium film caps, so we're going to be putting those in there. So let's crack on. I'll remove these now because these are fairly easy to remove. You've got to be so careful with these circuit boards not to damage the pads, because they really do. I had one on there that went a bit funny, and it's really easy to do that. So these are the film caps here. Okay, these are the JB caps. Now these are quite decent caps, these JB caps. The guy that made this this kit, he doesn't like some of you lot don't like what we call boutique capacitors. Now I'm quite a lover of boutique capacitors, only if they're decent, of course, but Mundorf, Janssen, you know, they all make, Audio Note, they all make really nice caps, and they are far better, but you're paying the money for them. So there we go, that's going to go into there. Well, first of all, we've got some small capacitors there that might need changing before I put those in. So actually we'll remove that. I'll take this cap out here as well, this film cap. Let's remove that one, and then I can fit those small capacitors in, which are going to need to go in there. Right, let's just clean up that hole there with the braid here. It's always best to clean the hole up first, really. Right, so there are those two out. Now I need to change these little ones here now. So that is those. It is those two. So we've got the negative to the left and the positive to the right, which you already know by the way that the arrow is. So let's remove those two little caps first. I'll just rock one to one side like that, and then the other one to the other side. When you're pulling these out, you've got to be so careful, because they're so easy to break off the pad. There we go, one more off there now. That's it, that's off nicely, that one. Let's just clean that up again. Just check what one that is that's come off of there. That's that one there. It's always good to clean these up, and also if you don't clean these up, when you're pushing through the capacitor, what tends to happen is it lifts off the pad as well. If you're not careful, it can do that. So that's one there, and then this is the second one that I need to remove here. That's pulled out quite nicely. That's out of there. Okay, so we'll just clean that pad up as well, those two. That can get a bit messy, so we need to keep making sure that our workbench here is clean. There we go, so that's off of there. So let's put these are the two small capacitors here that have got to go into here now. So we know that this is the right way around. So the negative, there's the positive there. Now when you push these in, remember, they can that's one of those in there. Okay, we've got some children crying in behind there. It's nothing to do with me or my family, someone else's. Right, so that's there. Right, so we'll push that to the side to keep it in place, and then we can just solder those two in there. That's one there. That's not one quite in. That's one. That's two. That's it. That's in there nicely. So we're just going to snip off the remaining of the lead wire there. Same with that one there. Now, what I found with this, I listened to this before I started all this, and I didn't find it made any difference to the sound of my amplifier at all. It didn't do absolute zilch to it. Didn't sound any warmer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this on the DAC side. I've decided to put it on the side of the DAC. Right, so we'll just bend those back again there. You can see that I've just bent those back. Filming on this may not be that good again today, look guys. Very difficult to do this when you're doing it on your own. Right. One. Two. Let's do a bit more on that one. Is that one gone in? Needs a tiny little bit more on there. And it's never good to do soldering after a night on the drink, which I had last night. So I was out enjoying myself again. Unfortunately, makes my hands shake a bit the next day. So that's that one in, and that's that one in. Right now, so we can now put in our JB caps. Okay, they're both the same microfarad, which is 3.3. So these have to be bent round slightly to get in there, because now I was looking at upgrading these, and then I found out I wouldn't be able to get them in the cabinet. So the guy that's made this has worked out really well what fits in and what doesn't. So these are probably going to have to just stick up very slightly and push to the side, because they're a lot bigger than they were before, and we've got the valves that have got to go into there. So that is going to go there. So what we'll do, we'll just push something underneath it so we can keep it going to the side slightly there. Try to keep it the same. Bend those over. I always find bending those over very slightly holds it in place better. Right, let's solder these two up now. Is that one? Is that one? Nice and neat. There we go. So that's one of our capacitors in there now. So we'll just snip off the back leads of those. Now, I've had this kit for bloody ages and I haven't got round to doing it until now. So let's do the same thing again here now with this cap. We're going to push that in. We're going to bend it over slightly so it's away from the valve. what I've noticed is that capacitor there is very close to this. So what we want to do is just move this over slightly. We want to keep it away from there if we can. Never easy, of course, when you're putting bigger capacitors in boards that don't take it, that haven't really got the space for them. But hey, that is the way the guys designed this kit. And it's quite a good kit. Wasn't cheap. I think this actual tube buffer back in 98, maybe 96, was around £250. Now the kits cost me more than that. Well, actually, it didn't. Actually, what I've done is I've bought the upgrade power supply to go with it as well. Right, so there we go. It's all going neatly underneath there. Okay, we've got those in. So now, what we've got to do now, we need to take out these film capacitors here. So we've got a load of film capacitors here, which are 1 microfarad. So they've got to go in. And then we've just got these 2 capacitors here, which are 1000 microfarad, which are going to go in next. So let's put those ones in. Let's remove those ones here. So we're just going to rock that from side to side again a little bit. Sometimes I find these a bit temperamental. That's it. Let's come out there. That's it. Last bit. Now don't pull these, because you'll pull the pad off if you pull them. I know, because I've done it endless times. Okay, so that one's out. So my football team's going really well. We've played 4 games of the season so far. We won 3 and lost 1. And the one we lost, we shouldn't have really lost, but we wasn't great that night. So they're off. What I'm going to do is remove this one here now, this film cap there, because that's going to be easier to remove that now before I put those other caps in there. That one's popped straight out. Some of these come out really easy. Other ones are a bit of a bugger to do. That's it. That's out. Right, so let's start soldering in these ones now. So these are the 2 we need to put in, which are the 100 microfarad. Let's do one at a time. Let's just bend those over slightly so I can keep that nice and solder. So this is silver solder, 4%. That's 1. That's 2. That's it. That's in. Nice. It's going well. I'm sure there'll be a disaster along the way. There usually is. Right, so that's 1 in there. Now then we're going to get the next one in now, which is here. There we go. I'm like Shaking Stevens today. I'm all over the place. Right. That's it. Solder again. Always remembering to clean your tip of the soldering iron all the time when you're doing this. That one. And I see the women's football ended today, and England didn't win, but still did very well to get where they got. I don't really follow women's football. I'm really only a Milton Keynes Dons fan. I don't generally watch international football at all, after being let down by England for donkey's years now. Right, so now we're up against these now, which are these little film capacitors. Okay, so I'm just going to fit them in the same way as they were before. Now I think these are just bipolar, they go any way. Let me just have a look with my my magnifying glass here. Yep, 1 microfarad minus 100. So we're going to clip these in here. I should go straight in, hopefully. No, they won't. I need to clean up the holes there. So let's just clean those holes up. Let's double check that's the right one. Yep. Give the soldering iron a wipe again. The worst part about doing this on camera is it's very hard to do it. It's complicated. It's a lot easier when you're doing it off camera, because I'm trying to film it at the same time as doing it, which is never easy. Right, hang on, let's just bend that back very slightly. There we go, that's gone in, that's in nice there. So what we're going to have to do with this is to load up the soldering iron a bit first. There we go. Easy like that. Bit more. That's one. Right, so now we've got one in, I'll be able to do the other one properly like this. There we go. Let's just go another go over that one because it looked a bit messy. I don't like things that are messy. There we go. So that's one film capacitor in there. Right, let's take out the rest of them now. That's there and that's there. So I'm going to take the rest of them out and I'll be back in a second. So I've got all of the capacitors now fitted. All of the film caps. Okay, all of the diodes. And now all I've got to do now is just to fit this ohmic gold resistor. Now, if you haven't tried these, I use these on my... I did use the Mundorf, the top Mundorf ones, and then all of a sudden I couldn't get one in the right microfarad. So I bought this, and these are outstanding, these ohmic gold, or whatever their name is, ohmic gold. Right, so what we've got to do now is this R1 now. Okay, this capacitor there, this resistor, we've got to remove that. So let's see how we're going to do this now. It's just never easy to remove these things without damaging anything. So just get it to the side like that. Just remove it. Oh, look, it comes out easy. Okay, so now this gold capacitor, this resistor, I should say, is a hell of a lot bigger. You can see, so this is going to be more awkward to fit in. Let's just clean the back of that up first, because we don't want it. We want the hole to be nice and clear when we get it in, because if you start pushing it, that's when you're going to be in trouble and have a one of the pads pop off the top. And there is an easy way of repairing it afterwards. You just scratch a bit of the circuit board away there, the trace, and then solder it directly to that. just like overheating these pads. You don't want to overheat them. So right, so let's get this into position now. So this is going to be, this has got to fit in there, which is a lot smaller, so this is a lot bigger. So we're going to take our thing back there like that, and we're going to have to get it in here, manipulate it a little bit. So that's going to have to stand up a bit more than it did before, because that is the only way that's going to fit in there. And we don't want anything touching anywhere either. So let's just bend that down a bit. See if we can pull that down a bit more than that there. So I've read all the instructions to do this beforehand, so what we'll do, we'll put that in like that. That looks about right now. Okay, we can bend it back a bit once it's in place. Double check that's all right. Right, okay, so let's just solder that off, and then that is the circuit board finished. We just got to put it back together. There we go, that's that on there. That's that on there. Look at that, splendid. So we just bend that back a little bit because we don't want any of these components touching. Let's just snip those off now. Right, so these, I've been given a new set of these. So I suppose I really should fit those in, but I'm always a bit dubious about doing this, which what I'm going to do this time. Instead of rocking that, I'm going to suck up the solder with the braid here. Right, that's revealed the hole there. Chop that off and do the same to the back one there. Now, you don't really need to change these. There's nothing wrong with what's already on there. There we go, that's sucked that up. That's it, that's one's off. Hopefully we should just be able to push this through after, but there we go. Let's just see whether that comes out now or not. Nope. Okay, these have got some little clips in there. That's probably why. That's got to be clipped off of there. Still feels like there's solder connected there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull this forward very slightly. There we go, that's one out. That's two out. That's the way to do it. And then we'll just pull this back one out here. Right, okay. So I've removed that. It was a bit of a pig. It's a bit of a pig to get it out. But the new one should just fit in there just nicely now. You have to be careful fitting these in. These pins are very delicate. So those ones go in there like that. Some of these jobs are never easy to do. They take time. You can't rush them. So I'm going to have a go at this off the camera again. Oh, it's going in there, I think. It's very difficult to get all these pins lined up and in before they bend. There we go. Look, I've had a couple bend there a little bit. Bend those back. Don't want to bend it back like that. Well, I'm going to do that off camera. So here we have all the circuit board done. All we've got to do now, I've put a glove on for this, is to fit our two tubes here. These are Russian military grade tubes, which I'm a bit uneasy about using these now, really, because of the Iraq War. But there we go. So that fits directly into there like that. And this is the same. Push that up there from the bottom. Okay, getting it right in the right position, which is there. Turn that round, make sure that's correct. That's it. There we go, that's seated nice. Now just bend these caps over so they're not touching that at all. Because these do get hot, these tubes. That's the only thing I wasn't really too keen about. I'm going to move those right over there. I want to keep those away from the... Right, let's just fit this back in now. So that can come in here. What I did is I unsoldered this front plate to start with because it was going to be in the way a bit. I want to get that back onto there like that. And then just get this one in down here. That's it. Now we can get we can screw this up. Never easy doing these jobs on camera unless you've got a cameraman doing it for you. And my two sons are not interested anymore. So let's take that glove off now. Now we can just put that upside down there now, or put it to the side there. And now I've got the little screw there that I need to screw this back on with there. Okay. So that's the screw there. That's my daughter in the background. There we go. So let's just screw that back in there. That's the new RCA plugs being screwed back in. And now all we've got to do is just to put our two new Allen key bolts back in and tighten those up. Now I'll show you the upgrade power supply. So there we have it, job done. So here is the little Pinky SE power supply that's going to run this X10-D. So I hope you like this video. I hope it's not too messy. So I shall fire this up a bit later and have a listen to it. So thanks for watching another Tweaker Man video. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give this video a like. Don't forget to press that notification bell so you're notified each time I upload a new video. And thanks for watching, guys.